Let's go fishing under this bridge. Say looks pretty good. Hey. Bird's nest. Sticking with us. So I really like this spot because if you look way up in the distance there, you'll see that it's really slow. And then it speeds up right here. And then beyond, it's really slow also, like downstream from us. So what this here, right here is this is going to be the main feeding point for the biggest fish. And I can tell that it's really deep. Now, by really deep, I don't really know, but you can see I'm standing here, and then there's a steep drop-off where the water speeds up and creates a channel. So the largest fish in this little section will hold here because the food comes down the conveyor belt straight down here in front of them. Right about there, I can see a big rock underneath. So that's a current break. So I suspect there'll be some fish in that area as well. So we'll try that next. But I just wanted to work through this area first with multiple casts to see if anything is acting aggressive. And I wanted to give them the chance to see the grasshopper come through multiple different angles. Out here in front, so you can see the current, and then the water swirls there. That's a big slow section also. So the fish will also hold off to the side there, outside of current, and dart into current, feed, and then go back out and rest. So sometimes you can throw like some top water over there where it's still and get some reaction bites. So I was trying to also do that with this grasshopper. You can see you're able to work it a couple different ways. So you can work it on top, and then you're still able to cast it in. I'm holding the line up high. I don't really like to, but I'm holding the line up high right now to keep the line out of the current, because as soon as the line hits the current, what it's going to do is it'll pull the grasshopper. It'll pull the line, which pulls the grasshopper out of the strike zone. And it won't let me work that area as good as I want. Probably what I'll do here is I'll let it drift just a little bit more, and then I'll start to reel it in right around that rock that I showed you guys to see if I can get any hits. And then I'll do the same thing. I'll throw it back out here at the top. I'll pop it around the top. Throw it out here in that slack area. I'll pop it around on the top and then let it drift down, and then I can retrieve it back across that big underwater boulder, right? Which is on lakes and stuff, they'll call that structure. Technically it's structure here as well, but that's what that is I'll cast it and reel it back over that structure. And with the crankbait, what I want it to do is I want it to hit that structure and deflect, because that's the time that you'll expect the bass to hit on it. Boom. So that was a really good cast. Again, I'm far out in there. I'm gonna hold the line up high, and I'm just gonna pop that grasshopper on top. Which is really, really natural, because if you look above, you can see the overhanging tree branch. So I would suspect that bugs and things like that will fall out of the tree, or birds will drop things. They'll perch up on that branch and they'll drop things into the water, and the bass will know that. And that'll be a prime feeding area too with that overhead cover. Okay, again, I'm gonna let it drift now. I'll let some slack out. I'll let it drift. And then once it gets into an area where I think I can bounce it off that rock, I just bounce it off the rock. And I'll reel it back in. Okay, and then we'll do it all over again. See if I can get a long cast out there. Yep, another long cast under the tree. Pop it a few more times. If this is the first time ever finding my channel, I do these live fishing breakdowns for new fishermen. Usually during the summer, once it starts warming up. I am not a cold water fisherman. I hate the cold. So if this is something that you like, man, subscribe to me and you'll catch me again on the next one. Again, I'm right over the rock, the structure, and I'm going to reel it in. I felt it pump the rock. No hit. And then we do it all over again. Another cast out there. Again, we're going to pop it up on top. Okay, we're there over the rock. Oh, something happened, got tangled up with something. Let's see, yeah. So we got some algae, and that ruined the action, which caused it to pop up out of the water. When you pull things up, you can always kind of evaluate it to see what you pulled up, because it could give you some clues as to what the if there's any underwater vegetation or stuff like that. So then you can start to create an idea or a plan of vegetation lines and things like that. So we're going to cast again one more time. I really want to get close to trying to see if you guys can see it, this rock right in front of me, because that's the very tippy point of the slack zone. So I would suspect that there are some fish stacked up right behind that, using that as a current break, and they'll have their nose straight up against it. So if we can get something right on top of them, we can hit a reaction bite. Or if we can get onto the other side, let it drift and drag it straight across, right across their noses, you can also get a reaction bite out of them like that. So it might be a little bit out of my casting zone. I don't want to walk up too much further because I can't see in the water. As you guys can see, the water's, we got a lot of weird reflection here. I just know that it gets deeper, and it is super slick here with all the algae on these rocks. So this is probably about as far as I'm comfortable going, unless you guys want to see me half drown out here, which probably would also make for some good TV. So again, I'm gonna cast right out here. Let's see if we can get to that spot. Oh, I was pretty close. No action through there. I'll go ahead and reel it because I'm out of the strike zone, my suspected strike zone. Let's do it again. No, a little bit too far to the left again. Casting too far to the left today. With all my camera equipment on my chest, I'm doing all one-handed casts, so and that might be a little bit of it too. Oh, a little bit short, but I was really close to target there. So I was watching the lure. I did see a fish jump in the middle here. It was a small one. But that tells me that there's some action going on in there. Something's chasing because those fish don't jump for just no reason. It's a pretty good cast. So right in the mix of it. This is my favorite starter lure for the day because it gives me the option to work top water. I can work the crank. But sometimes the fish just aren't going for it with all lures. So we'll give it another couple casts and then maybe we'll retie something else on. Oops, that one was way far left. Still in kind of a good spot though. Appreciate you guys tuning in. This is my first live of the season. Now that it's warming up, it's supposed to be 70 something today. It's still in the 60s, somehow low 60s. So hopefully it'll warm up. You guys will get some more action to watch. That was a good cast right in front of the rock. Just a little bit further is what I'm looking for. Oh, I'm in the tree. All right, so I'll give you guys a little tip on how not to get trapped in the tree here. All right, so as you guys, I'm not sure if you guys can see, but I have the lure working back and forth in a pendulum manner. All right, so what we're looking for is on the back swing away from the cover, we pop it up and over. There we go, and we got it back. I'll try and show you guys here closer to camera here. Let me see if I can get it. All right, so this is, if imagine my finger here is the branch, all right, and what we're looking to do is you're looking to get the lure going back and forth just like that. And then on the back swing, you pop it up over the rest of the way. Hopefully, I won't have to show you guys that trick again today. All right, no luck here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move down just a little bit more. I want to be on the other side of this rock. This slow area in front of me looks really good as well. One of my favorite casting techniques is to go straight in line with the bank, okay? Because really, essentially, the bank is also cover, right? So if you fan cast starting from the bank, parallel with the bank, out more into the middle, you're really able to cover, boop, 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 just kind of like a pizza, and you'll be able to cover all the water to make sure you don't miss anything. And so that was as close to the bank as I could probably get. Okay, nothing there. So we'll go. Got to be careful here because I'm casting too far to the left today. Guys can end up seeing me stuck on a tree again. All right, so there we go. A little bit further to the right this time. Sun's starting to come out. It's interesting. Nothing there. A little bit more to the right. Okay, you can kind of adjust the travel of the lure by moving your rod tip. Okay, while I'm reeling here, I'm looking down at the river, and the river's kind of giving me some clues as to what the bottom of the river is shaped like. So as you look on this side, you can see, I see a lot of bank. It doesn't slope as steeply, all right? But then you come over here to the right, and you can see that the bank is really, really steep. The water's really, really slow. And even in this area, you can start to see that the water kind of goes that direction towards the other bank. And what that tells me is this side of the river is a lot more shallow than that side. Okay, so these big swirls right here, you'll end up catching big fish. Like I've seen big muskie come out of sections like this. Now, not on this river. I would suspect that there probably are muskie on this river. But you'll see them here in these big, deep sections like that. Same with gar. If there's walleye here, you'll see walleye in sections like that, close to the faster water with their nose up against the cover underneath. Right? So they'll like that deeper section. So we'll go over here. I'm only going to target bass today. If I really needed to, I probably could handle a big old muskie, but not with this lure, not with this setup, not this ultralight setup. It'd be miserable for me, but it would be cool for TV if I did pull one in like that. It's a section I've never fished before. This was just on the side of the road. I was heading home. I had all my fishing gear in the truck. Had my camera gear with me. So I thought, man, now's a good time. Let's go ahead and get that first live stream done. So here we are. Okay, and as you can tell, I'm getting a little further right every cast. And I'm almost back to where that big rock was. I felt a little something there, but I think that was just cover. I don't know if you guys can see the rod tip. Let me adjust the camera for you guys. I'm going to go back over in that same exact spot and see what it was. Going to put us right in line with that rock. We're right on it again. No bites. Right, one more cast here, and let's make a move. All right, again, let's see what we pulled up. Pulled up a bunch of green algae. All right, we are going to walk this way because I want to cast up and have the lure come down this way because it's more natural. But when I came down here, I saw this section and I just had to hit it because I knew that this was a prime location, even though maybe we didn't get any bites. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If this is your first time, I'm a self-defense coach by trade. I own a self-defense business. But man, I'll tell you what, I absolutely love fishing. So most of my content here will be fishing. I like to go live and give fishing tips for anybody that's new. So if this is for you, please, I'm losing you guys on my mount. If this is for you guys, please subscribe. You'll see me here always during the summer. I'm not a cold weather fisherman, so. All right, this is a good little section here. Water's pretty deep. So what I'm seeing here is I see this grass line, and the grass line tells you a little bit about the water depth, right? So I'm looking out at the water on the other side, because when you look across the when you look across the creek or across the rivers, you can see the high water line. And in this instance, I could see that the water now is actually lower than where it was. So what that's telling me is that the water is getting more shallow. Right? The amount of water flow is lowering, so the river's getting lower. And sometimes that can tell you that the bass are going to pull away from the bank. And they're going to want to be into the deeper water where it's safer, right? Because the bass can sense that the water's getting more shallow. And what they don't want to do is they don't want to get caught in a shallow pool and die. So I'm going to step out here a little bit deeper. Right, I'm looking down into the water. I can see that. Look down here at my boots. You can see already how deep I am. I don't really want to go deeper. That's every time I end up stepping deeper, you guys end up seeing videos of me pouring my boots out because it gets deep quick, right? But I wanted to move out because what it's going to do is it's going to give me some casting angles that the guys on the bank can't hit, right? Because again, just like back there, I want to cast parallel to the bank because I know that the bass will hold in these slower spots right here. And even more so, I suspect they'll be closer to the edge on the outside line because if the water's lowering, again, the bass are going to want to move out towards the middle. So cast out here. Oh. Backlash. Let's clear that up. Okay, this is a ultralight BFS setup. So when it backlashes, it's super annoying because the line is so tiny. If you're new to bait casting reels, I would tell you probably should start with a much heavier setup, because it's just so much more easy to clear those backlashes and bird nests and things like that. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. It means a bunch to me. If you guys ask me a question and I don't answer, ask it again. It's really hard for me with this setup to see my actual screen because you guys are on my chest. So I try and glance down every once in a while to see if I missed anything. If I do, I'm sorry. Okay, just right out there, I saw a little swirl on top. Right now, I don't know what that was. It was really, really tiny, so it could be almost anything. Okay, here we go. We had something. Oh, hooked myself. Pollen's killing me, right? All right, so we have some more algae. It's giving me some clues as to how deep the water was out that way. Hopefully I just ticked the top of some cover, which is what I'm aiming to do. And then one more cast straight across. This spot right here I like too, because there's some overhanging trees and I think I can cast to it. So I'm going to cast straight across. Oh yeah, we're pretty close there. And I'll pop it on top. And again, just like earlier, I really think the bass expect things, and I think during the course of the day or weeks, little bugs and things fall out of those trees. So I think that's a really natural presentation when you have a bug type lure like this, to get it underneath those trees. You twitch it on top just like that, right? So I can see that the lure is going to hit, is going to cover, is going to float down and go underneath this tree branch. So I'm going to let it do it. Right? Because again, I suspect that there will be a fish under there. No luck. Let's move on up. Okay, I can see here that it gets really deep again. There's a step down. I'm standing on a rock. So what I'm going to do is, before I head out over here where it's deeper, I'm going to do another couple casts. See if I can get anything to give me a strike. This little deep section off the edge of this cover. Oops. Save that one from going in the weeds. Okay. I'm going to cast. I'm going to try and bring it in close to that cover. That's a perfect cast. For me, I'm going to pop it real close to the top here. Good luck. All right. Move up to the edge of this grass. Make some more casts. Hopefully I don't fall in the water here. Ugh. Do a little bit of shuffling. I really need to start just driving around with my full waders in. Oh. All right, just like I suspected, it got deep right here. I can see you see a large rock. We'll move out. Oh, there's a crawfish. Some people would tell you that's a clue as to what we should be using here. I don't think I can grab it, but I would like to grab it for you guys. Nope. No, I'm not going to be able to see it now. There's too much mud in the water. Let's see if it'll drift away. There he is, right there. Give us some clues as to what we're throwing, what we should be throwing. And that is a good sign as to how healthy the water is. Cast straight across here. I want to get underneath that tree. Thanks for the compliment, I think, about the voice. All right, there we go. Back in the spot here. No jam. No dice. And there's a spot right there. Twitch, twitch. No luck. Right on the edge of the rock. There's our spot here. Right there. So I also can see right in this area here, there's a dark shaded spot, which I'm going to suspect is some more cover. So I would expect them to be close to that as well. So we're going to run the lure right over that. We hit it, as you can tell. Brought up a bunch of weeds with me, a bunch of algae. Clear that off. No dice there. So again, I'm going to look back up here and we're going to start from the right, work our way to the left just like a piece of pizza. I'm going to start right up here up against the bank. And then that's because the bank is cover. Add a backlash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out. There we go. We cleared that, which is good news. Sun's coming out. As you guys can tell, we're underneath the freeway bridge. So as you guys are driving over, oh, we had another backlash. As you guys are driving over freeway bridges, start thinking, man, there might be some fishing underneath there that I gotta hit and try and figure out ways to get down to it. Okay, we cleared that backlash. Lucky again. We're set. We're here parallel with the bank. A little deeper in this spot so we can get up closer to the bank. Found someone's minnow trap. Oh, look at that. There's two crawfish in there. How funny is that? I don't know if I should leave this. Oh, there's three. Man, that's a big one right there. Look at that fucker. don't know if I should leave this in here. I probably will. All right, we're stepping on out. So we're standing in a little bit deeper. And it's going to give me the ability to cast out there. As you guys can see across from me, there's that branch sticking up out of the water. So that's going to tell me that there's some cover down there, right, in the form of a tree. So we'll cast out, we'll cast out across, because that's probably going to be the prime spot for right here. Let's cast out and see what we can get. Oh, I'm going to get stuck on that tree. Pop. And let's work it right over there. Very natural presentation. Again, something falls off that branch, it's going to drop right in that area. So the fish will expect that, and that will look normal to them. Appreciate you guys tuning in. It means a bunch to me. If you're new here, or if you've never seen me before, my name's Brandon. I'm actually a self-defense instructor by trade. I own a self-defense company. I teach firearms training, workplace violence. Oh, I got a bite. All right. Oh, he's jumping. All right, let's bring her on in. Good looking fish. Smallmouth. Yeah. All right, guys. First fish on stream of the season. Man, this dude's fat. Oh my God, look at this guy. That tell me he's been eating good. Dude, I absolutely love this thing. Thank you, Mr. Fish. I appreciate you. I'm not going to keep you out of the water any longer. Let's go ahead and get that release. And he's gone. He's out of here. Thank you, sir. All right, guys. Awesome. That was our hit. We got that guy right here in the middle. I see where he was. There's... let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 pieces of structure there, large boulders probably. And it was right in the middle. And as soon as the lure went up over it, I felt the bump, and I could feel the weight there. And he had it perfect in his mouth, which is awesome. Super thrilled with that catch. Not a whopper by any means, but we are literally just in some creek underneath the freeway bridge. So. All right, let's see if we can repeat it one more time. I'm gonna step right back out here to that same spot I was. We can repeat the cast right in this area, right where the tip of the fishing rod is. You guys can see that dark spot on screen. That's where he was. So I'm gonna cast right back out there. So he just gave us a little clue as to what they're doing. At least that one wanted to chase. No. Now they just got me excited. I think everything's a bite. I think everything's a hit now. Let's go to the right and see if he's got any friends in that same exact spot. Just gonna run the lure right over all those spots. Look at a bunch of weeds on that one. Ugh. Run the lure back over. No dice in that spot. Go to the right just a little bit more. Let's move on up. Water's pretty deep in this spot. A couple more pieces of structure out there towards the middle, so we'll cast out to them. Keep the rod tip high right here so that the lure won't run as deep that far out. Because I do not want to pick any more of that junk up off the rocks. There. And then we'll do one more cast out to the middle. So we can bump anything over that area. Okay, we'll probably stream like another 15-ish minutes, and then I'm gonna head back up to the truck. I'm gonna call this one a day. Man, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. It means a bunch. I can't tell how many viewers we got. How many viewers do we have? It's so hard for me to look at my phone in this position. If this is the type of content you like to see, please follow me. That way you guys can get, whatever notifications, or you guys can find my live streams. Absolutely love doing this stuff for you guys. Feel free to shoot me an email. My email's in there if you guys have any requests on fishing tips or anything like that. I'm more than happy to answer them. I'll shoot a video if I didn't get to answer them today, specifically for that, because teaching people how to fish, and I remember when I was new, and it's just so intimidating, especially nowadays. There's so much stuff, so many different rods, so many different reels, so many different presentations, line weights, all that stuff. It's so confusing, and people just don't know where to get started, and you lose. You end up losing confidence so you end up losing confidence so fast. A couple pops here. Some more algae. Right in that shady spot. I like that. Little family of ducks making their move. Ooh, and there's a hit. Was that a hit? Was that a hit? No. False alarm, maybe? I feel like that was a hit. Maybe I need to slow down my retrieve a little bit. Oh, another bird's nest. Another backlash. Putting a little bit too much oomph in there. Casting it out, I think. Still just fan casting. That first fish we caught kind of towards the middle, so I'm looking towards the middle to the structure out there, which is those big boulders, those big rocks out in the middle. I think I got another hit. Pretty sure I got another hit, and that was out in the middle. So all these bites, what they're doing is they're telling you potentially where these fish could be at, and you just got to pay. You got to pay attention because the fish will tell you. But only if you're listening to them. Right? Even as the lure's coming in, I'm watching it come in. As soon as I can see it, what I'm doing is I'm paying attention to what's behind it. Because as soon as you can see the lure, what a lot of people will do is they'll focus on the lure and they won't even see the bass that's following it. And if you start to see bass following you in, that's a clue also, because they're interested in the lure, they see it, but you just got to do that something different to make them hit. And then you just incorporate that, knowing that they're following you. Knowing that you're getting attention, knowing that there's fish here. And that can start to build confidence, because it's just 1,000 casts and no bites is frustrating. And you start to think, man, am I even fishing somewhere that there's fish? But in truth, you might have follows. And because you weren't watching the lure, or you weren't paying attention, you're missing out on those important clues. No bites in this area, so we're going to go ahead and move on up. Another 5 minutes on the stream. Again, I appreciate you guys for being here. I appreciate everyone's likes. I can see the likes, I think. Yeah, I got some likes on there. You guys are fantastic. And if this is the kind of stuff that you like, please subscribe to me. That way you'll get the notifications for when I go live again. And catch the next crazy adventure, the next underbridge stop. I do have a bass boat, so you will see me underbridge stop. I do have a bass boat, so you will see me